So as people are well aware, spectacles are everywhere, and of course Francisco can attest to this as he's studied them in great depth. And you don't have to go to our American spectacle down in New Orleans, or Nolans as they say, in order to see Mardi Gras, which is going on right now. You can go out to John Henry and Anne's place the Saturday before Halloween, and that is a spectacle you won't forget. People are in costumes, elaborate costumes, not just, little face masks. And if this isn't enough, there's a real fire-breathing dragon. John, you're on.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. So today is the 44th anniversary of Anne Crittenden and myself, our wedding anniversary. And we're delighted to be. We can't think of anywhere we would rather be than here. And
Thank you, John.
where did you put it, Dawn?
This is a wonderful place, we all admit.
Okay. Oh, I see. You hit it. Huh? Yeah. So I just wanted to start by Anne giving you this.
I'll give you another year.
This will give me 2 years. Okay, so let's. So this is Anne and me in New York City at the Halloween parade a few years back when I was Sullivan the Magnificent and Anne was in her. So we're constantly bringing things back to Rappahannock from around the world. 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of speaking to you about longevity and purpose here. And this time, I'm very grateful about being invited back to talk about our annual spectacle in Rappahannock County. So since a video is worth 1,000 words, let's begin with a video of last October, the 225 spectacle. There's Richard. Okay. I love this, that one. It was such a great, and our author is back in, Luke did that all. He's very talented. So what you just saw was something very, very simple and very human. Our spectacle at Stonehill brings people together. After my anniversary, this is the most beautiful day, the most beautiful day of the year for me. Like festivals all over the world, it's a moment when we can step out of our daily routine. Once a year, we gather to reestablish our connection to each other. Tonight, I'm delighted to be joined by my dear friend, where's Francisco LaRubia Prado. What a name, what a great person, Francisco. Thank you.
Yay, there we go, yay.
You'll clap more after you see me. Francisco taught a popular and wonderful course on spectacles at Georgetown University, and has recently, I don't like to use the word retired because he hadn't retired at all. He's now devoting himself full-time to writing a book about spectacles and public rituals around the world. What an amazing job, huh?
I think so.
I wanted to thank Francisco for all the introductions he gave me in Spain, where I've had the privilege of participating in a dozen spectacles in Spain. We have a real treat for you tonight. We're going to show you some great images from those celebrations. But before we do that, I'd like to take a moment and explain what motivated me to create the Stonehill spectacle. Spectacles touch something very deep in the human condition. Everywhere, people feel a need to connect, to feel themselves part of something larger than themselves. Connection gives us purpose and meaning to our lives. Now, Ken, Richard Viggory, which you heard 2 weeks ago, and Ken, who you heard from, and myself, we're all part of a coffee group that brings us together on Sunday mornings, and you're all welcome to come to that this Sunday, be at my place. It alternates between Richard and me, but that's where we bring people together locally every week, not once a year. As I mentioned in my longevity talk 2 years ago, eating right, exercising right, sleeping right, and having close family relationships is not enough. You need to play a constructive role in our community. The need to connect becomes especially urgent when social forces are pulling us apart. In the United States today, political polarization is undermining our civic culture and our common sense of purpose. Every day we are drowned in negative news. As Dorothy Parker said so memorably, what fresh hell is this? Here is where spectacles come to the rescue. Spectacles are a perfect anecdote. Francisco and I will show you some images of giants from Spanish spectacles. Now, so this is a okay. That's in
Pamplona.
Pamplona.
Yes.
In Basque Country. next, here's another one. And the more,
That's Barcelona,
That's
north
Bar-
of Barcelona.
that's,
That's Berga.
that's Berga. Yep, and that's another spectacle that we went to. Another giant. Now, I was so taken by these giants that I thought to myself, we need one of our own. We've got to have a Giante. So here is the giant I commissioned for our Rappahannock spectacle. Our giant is James Madison. And there's a picture, that's me as a Doge 2 years ago, a Venetian Doge, and Francisco in his
Running of the Bulls.
Running of the Bulls.
Outfit,
running
yes.
the bull, the red and white.
Yes.
So James Madison, okay, we got more James Madison here with the fire-breathing giant. And there's another picture of Madison. So we'll wait. So our Giante, our giant, is James Madison, who was a giant in American history. Madison was the architect of the, as you know, the U.S. Constitution, which brought the American people together as a nation. Last October, with another nonprofit I found, the Committee for the Republic, we held the first town hall with an avatar of James Madison, and that's available on YouTube if you'd like to see it. It was I was going to do, Ken, I was planning to do a demo of our AI James Madison tonight, but at our coffee group last month, Ken said, nope, you got to do the spectacle first. So that's why we're doing spectacles tonight. This year, we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. While the Declaration of Independence declared our intentions and the War of Independence won our freedom, it was the Constitution that brought the United States into being. The Constitution put the power in our union that made us the republic, made our republic the wonder of the world. It was only fitting then that our Rappahannock spectacle should honor the person who, more than any other, united us with the rule of law. At the this year's spectacle in October, Madison will lead the torch parade through the wall of fire that you saw to the giant bonfire, and then stand in the center of the circle of standing stones. The Madison giant reminds us of that out of many we are one. Okay, let's show some pictures now of Francisco. You come up and we're going to do, yeah, Francisco, come on up and we're going to do some spectacles around the world. And we borrowed, so Picasso said, great artists steal, the art is knowing what to steal. So we're constantly, Francisco and I are going out to all these spectacles around the world and seeing what we can bring back. And so you'll recognize some of it now.
Yeah, that's Bonfire Night as Guy Fawkes That's a bonfire night in Lewes, in England. It's the anniversary of it's the 3rd of November, the 5th of November. Guy Fawkes. Yes, and
that
as
was
you
Guy
know,
Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes was a Catholic who joined the Spanish Imperial Army, and they trained him to be a specialist in explosives, so the man could blow anything. And so when he went back to England, and he saw the situation in which Catholicism was, he joined a few other Catholics, and they decided to blow up Parliament when King James II was giving a speech. So, but one of the conspirators had a cousin who was a member of Parliament, and he sent his cousin a note saying, on this particular day, don't be in Parliament. But the cousin showed the note to the police. So the police showed up in Parliament and got him with 18 barrels of explosives, of dynamite. So they got him, and I'm not going to name all the torture and everything the man had to go through. But the king, James II, decided that this was the hand of God and declared a national festivity. And at the time, all of England celebrated it. But nowadays, it's only in the southwest part of England, and the place where they celebrated the most is Lewes. And so we went to Lewes, and I still have to go to Lewes a second and maybe a third time, because this kind of work, you need to go several times to really understand what the festival is all about, and you make the connections, and you had to read and study everything that has been written about it, which is a lot. And then I'll incorporate it as one of the chapters in my book. So, Guy Fawkes, yes.
So let me say, this
Yes.
is where we brought back the torches. So I took my son, and they've been doing this for what, 400 or 500 years, right?
Which this one?
Yeah.
Since the 17th century.
Yeah, since 17th century. So anyway, they've worked out all the torch technology, and so they make two ways of making the torches. And my son James decided, we like this one rather than the other one, and that's what we did, a reverse technology transfer from East Sussex, England, to Rappahannock County, Virginia. And there are 8 bonfire societies, I believe, and there are about 1,000 members each, and they each come through town 5 times in the evening, so it's 40,000 torches. So this is the fire spectacle of the world, in my opinion. Go ahead. So what do we got next?
What else?
What do we got next?
We have here. All right, this is Pamplona, the running of the bulls. And here in this country, we know the festival as the running of the bulls, but we know it as the running of the bulls because of Ernest Hemingway, who loved bullfights and everything connected with bulls. And so, but that is only 7 events of the festival. The festival is nearly 500 different events, and only about 7 are connected with bulls. So, and this one is is when everybody gets together at the beginning of the festival, and then this particular band comes out and plays some of the traditional tunes, and as you can see, everybody's very excited, and it's very moving, and it's a very image of the, I don't know, you have a feeling when you see all of these people so excited and so enthralled by what is going on. It's an image of the sublime, so it's something overwhelming. It's truly overwhelming to see all of these people.
And everybody's there.
And
Everybody's
a
there.
lot of people.
Yeah, they're all
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Question.
Sure.
If it's not just about the running of the bulls, what is the theme or the core reason?
Yes, well, they celebrate. I'll talk later a little bit about this, but the name over there in Pamplona is the Festival of San Fermin. San Fermin is supposedly the San Fermins of Amiens, a saint, from Roman times. But as many saints from that time, it cannot be proven that he existed. It's a mythical, it's a saint, it's a legend. But it's during the Middle Ages, and when Christians were fighting Muslims in the Iberian Peninsula, these saints acquire a gigantic size in people's imaginations. And so they are festivals that celebrate the fact that they ended up victorious over the Muslims and reconquering the Iberian Peninsula. So that's what they really celebrate, is this San Fermin festival and all the historical events that the city has experienced, and as a community, And also, Pamplona was the capital city of an independent ancient kingdom, Navarre, that different from, so they are celebrating identity. They are Navarran, they are not Castilian, they are not Aragonese, they are not Catalans, they're Navarrans. And so that's what they are celebrating also, is their sense of identity.
You've got a question there.
I highly recommend the festival. I was there in 1969.
Yeah.
There was no place to stay. The first time I'd ever camped out, I had a sleeping bag. So I camped out under the stars, drank a lot of wine and ate a lot of sausage. And I was traveling with my sister and two of my younger brothers. Not God's good friend, my oldest brother Bob, but my two younger brothers. And they ran with the bulls.
You did?
And they're still alive, right?
They're very, very fun.
Yes. Yeah, it's running with the bulls is it's a specific activity. It's a it's one of those activities or one of those games, so to speak. Because one thing is play, one thing, I'll talk about that later. One thing is play, one thing is games. One are more ruled than others. And there are quite a few rules to run with the bulls. I mean, it's not something you just go there and you run. You need to observe certain rules. And it's one of those games where playing, it's like the Russian roulette, right? That playing that sort of game may be more dangerous than the gain that you get from it. But I have analyzed all the psychological components of this in one article that I published,
So let me,
and it's really interesting.
So Francisco, what would happen if you and I flew to Iowa and went to Des Moines and met the mayor and suggested that they put wooden runway through the town and we get the most fierce steers in Iowa, and get the public to get in front of them and have them chase them to the town. Do you think they would put us in a mental?
Yeah, they would send us to the psychiatric ward of the closest hospital. That makes sense. It's not part of the culture.
So there's a lot
Yeah,
of tradition
it's-
that you
yes,
can get away
it's
with
not the
that you
culture.
can't.
Yes.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so this is the town of Calanda in Aragon, near the city of Zaragoza. And as this happens during Easter, and when you see all of these people with the drums, they are, it's something that at 12 o'clock on Good Friday, they start playing the drums. And the drums have two meanings. One of the meanings is that to replicate what happened when Jesus Christ died in the cross. According to St. Thomas, the sky opened and tremendous noise could be heard. The other thing is that shepherds during the wars between Christians and Muslims, they had in Calanda, they had a system that shepherds would play drums if they saw the Moors coming. So then the receiving shepherd, they would hear the noise, and then he would start playing, and then another one would play, and then finally in the town they would understand that there was danger, so they would prepare themselves to defend the town. And so that's the other thing that is being celebrated there. So it's very rooted in history. All right.
So Francisco was able to get me in this Catholic order, and here I am. And everybody, I can't remember the beat, but everybody has been doing this since they were this age, right?
Since they are little.
So I am here trying to stay in the beat, and so I'm, super focused. Don't want to get out of rhythm. But this is, Francisco's got me in all these Catholic orders, and it's just, it's amazing. We've got more. Go ahead. Oh, so Francisco, this is me in Alcoy, and Francisco got me in this battle between in about the same time as the Magna Carta in the mid-13th century. They had this amazing battle between the Moorish and the Cristianos. So I decided to be a Moorish in this. And
yes.
Go ahead, Francisco, tell them about it. Well, let's see, we'll show the rest. So this is. This is me right here. I'm right there. So,
Yes.
And then, go back. So they all have these guns, and we put some flowers in them. And then the other one is Francisco. So we brought wore that costume, a Morris costume from Alcoy that year at the spectacle with the friar here.
Well, yes. So he's the warrior and St. Francis of Assisi there. So, to balance things out a little bit. So some of these festivals, they hide the violence that is behind them, and others expose them very openly. And this is one that exposes them. and Moors and Christians, and it's all over the the eastern part of the country, the former kingdom of Aragon. They celebrate the Moors and Christians, and so it's that kind of festival that exposes confrontation, historical confrontation. But again, there are others that precisely the festival, what they do, like with the drums, they hide the violent origins of what happened there in the Middle Ages. Oh, this is fabulous. Go ahead.
Go ahead and let's do this one.
Okay. So this is a pre-Christian festival. It's started in the Neolithic times, basically. And so what they do here is all of these people that wear amazing outfits. One type of outfits, for instance, shows the person as a tree. It literally looks like a tree. Another one is moss. Another one is corn. Another one is, it's all very nature-oriented. And what they're doing here is they march, and then at the end, there is this figure here, and it's a white bear. And in pre-Christian, the pre-Christian world, bears were creatures that when you, in a ritualistic way, killed a bear, you were releasing the souls of your ancestors, and they would make possible a good harvest that year. So that's what they are doing there. The whole ritual is the hunt of the bear. And so, I don't know, can you play it again? That's the bear. And, yeah. Yeah, and at the end, symbolically, they kill the bear. Yes.
Where does this occur?
In Cantabria, in Santander, near the Basque Country. It's between Galicia, in northwest Spain, and the Basque Country. There is an area called Cantabria in the city of Santander. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and show the other one. This is in Appenzell, in region in Switzerland, on the 13th of January. It's the also ancient pre-Christian ritual, and the green outfit that I wore last year was modeled on this. Actually, my gardener made a better one than this. This is a Christmas tree. She had this amazing tree. It was just wonderful, and I like it all the way. I like it all the way down rather than with the boots. Good. What's next? Yeah, so that's very similar to the one in Spain, the Switzerland. Okay, now this is I'll let Francisco describe this.
These are, in addition to the giants in festivals, they have some other figures called big heads. And the big heads, as the giants, the beauty of the giants is, well, there is an entire aspect that we can talk about it, but the thing is that there is a person inside the giants, and this person knows how to dance the giant. It's difficult, you need to train, they're heavy, and they know how to dance them. These ones are just the heads, big heads. And so what they do is they interact with people. They're very active, and each one has a personality. Yeah, each one has a personality. For instance, this is the grumpy, and he has this thing with a sort of a sponge at the end, and so he hits children and people. He hit Sheila when she was there, and so they interact with people a lot, and people love them. So there are about 6 of them, each one with an entirely different personality. Okay, so and this is the giants in Pamplona. There are the king and the queen of Europe, of the king and the queen of Africa, of America, of Asia. They have king and queen of every continent. And actually, they came to the Macy's parade in, I don't know, in the 1960s. They brought them from Pamplona. But this thing that we are seeing here is one of the, this is again the running, the festival called Running of the Bulls here. But it's very family oriented, and what we see here is the pacifiers of kids that when their parents think that it's about time that they stop using the pacifier, they ask the children, they say, it's about time that you give your pacifier to a king or a queen during the festival. So the children voluntarily go and they hand their pacifiers from the hand of the festival. So this is the queen, the African queen. And so these children have hung the pacifiers there. Mm-hmm.
Francisco, we might say that
Yes.
in our spectacle last year, Richard, when you won the prize, Best Political Prize, you were 92 years old. And do you know how the youngest person there was? How about the second youngest? The second youngest was 1 month old. And he was twice as old as the 2-week-old. So it all went from 2 weeks to Richard at 92.
Yeah. So that's a European king and queen. That's the king and queen with Sheila and myself, with the African.
And this is back in New York at the Halloween parade, and it's quite, you just can interact when you get in there with them. They've got it all cordoned off, and you march, and you end up interacting with these amazing people. And go ahead and show that. Yeah, this is. Look at that. Unbelievable, huh? So they're going back to that. So this was in the New York Halloween parade, and we brought back. And it was so cool. They were dirty red who is the Wynton Marsalis' best friend, Wynton lets him pick the best jazz players and bring them down here every year. And I said to Ricky Gordon, Dirty Red, I said, we got to find out who those still walkers are, because we only have 12 and we need 30 still walkers. So he found they're all from Trinidad, and they live in New York. And we brought 20 down, and I think we had 12 from a three-state area around here, so we had over. It's very powerful when you can mass still walkers. Anybody that's got their feet above your head should get your attention.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This is all right.
These are more.
These are big heads.
More big heads.
Yes. All right. So this is a different thing. So this is in Valencia.
Well, let me say before you go into that.
Yes.
So the big head thing, we haven't done this yet, but now when we're putting this together and thinking about it more, we're going to make Madison, as I said in my initial remarks, that we're going to make Madison more the center. He's going to lead the procession, the torch procession. And then I'm thinking we'll make maybe a dozen big heads of Madison walking around too. So that try to emphasize, to give our own unique trademark to our local festival, like all these festivals have.
Yes.
Have so much meaning to them. We're searching for meaning.
Yes. So, so what I can do now is so once I was in a party in Washington, and I was with 3 lawyers, and they asked me what I was working on, and I told them I was working on a book about festivals, and so I told them that I had to go to 3 or 4 festivals. This was in the spring, which is the time when most festivals happen, not all, but a lot. And then I told them, well, they asked me about, so it must be expensive. I said, well, the university gives me the money. It's travel money. And then they say, well, so they pay you to go to parties, eh? That's an enviable job. So I told them I didn't have enough time to explain to them that when I go there, it's not necessarily to have fun, but what I can do now is give you a framework of the kind of work I do, so that it's better understood. And so I have here written something that to explain a little bit how this work works, how I develop this. So there is a French philosopher, Georges Bataille, and for him festivals are not optional extras in human life. They are a necessity. The reason for that, according to Bataille, is that human beings generate more energy than we need just to survive. And that extra energy has to go somewhere. So it can go into destruction, war, conflict, violence, or into celebration. And festivals are what happens when that energy is turned into something positive and shared. That's why festivals matter. They bring individuals and communities together, and during a festival, the boundary between me and us becomes thinner. People stop acting only as isolated individuals and begin to experience themselves as part of a collective. In everyday life, we are separated by our goals, our schedules, our worries. A festival interrupts that, and it creates a moment of immersion in community. A time when ideally no one is excluded. There is a line in Cormac McCarthy, specifically in the novel The Road, that I find very revealing. He says that what human beings need to survive is food and community. Festivals, spectacles, and celebrations are among the most powerful ways to create community. Now, my work on festivals focuses on two basic elements: story and performance. By story, I mean the narrative behind a festival, how it came to be what it is. Human beings live by stories. We need them to make sense of the world and of ourselves. We are, as a species, addicted to a story. And even when we sleep, we tell stories to ourselves by dreaming. You can see this everywhere. Think about how sports are presented on television. Games are framed as dramas, struggling athletes, heroic comebacks, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. This morning, in the Australian Open, what happened with Alcaraz, who was having a very hard time, vomiting on the court, and he ended up winning in 5 sets. Or what happened with today with Djokovic, who beat Sinner also in 5 sets. So in the next game on Sunday in the final, the oldest player in the circuit and the one who is the winningest of all, Djokovic, who is 34, is going to be playing the youngest one who, if he wins, he will be the youngest player in history to win a career Grand Slam. Alcaraz is only 22. So this is the story. It frames what we are going to see. It's not just about tennis. It's about more than tennis. It's the story. Okay? So festivals do something similar, but often at a deeper level. Many are built around saints, heroes, founding fathers. These people are not presented as ordinary human beings, but as symbolic figures. Their stories turn many individuals into one community. They give people a shared sense or a shared reference point. That is why stories matter. They teach values, they tell us who we are, they help pass culture from one generation to the next. They bring people together around a shared sense of meaning. So that's why choosing the figure of James Madison as the symbolic center of the Flint Hill celebration makes a great deal of sense. Now, a second element of festivals that I focus on is performance. When I say performance, I don't just mean acting on a stage. I mean something much broader. Doing things, showing others that we are doing them, and being aware that we are doing them together. Festivals are made of performances, dressing up, marching, dancing, carrying torches, playing music, competing, cheering. All of these actions create connections between people. What makes performance possible is repetition. Okay, this notion is central. We do things that have been done before. One can call this restored behavior or twice behavior. Okay, actions that are performed again and again over time. From childhood, we learn how to behave by copying others. We inherit customs, gestures, and traditions, some of which are very, very old. Festivals are moments when those shared behaviors come back to life. Now, festival performance is built of play and ritual. The cultural historian Johann Huizinga argued that play is at the foundation of culture itself. Play is older than civilization. Animals play, children play, and human societies never stop playing. Play is joyful, but it is also serious. It creates order. It creates meaning. According to Huizinga, play is at the origin of myth, of ritual, law, art, and even science. Culture, in this sense, grows out of play. Play also has an important social function. It allows people to express intensity, competition, and even aggression without causing real harm. It turns potentially destructive energy into shared experience. Now, play has some very recognizable features. It is voluntary. It happens in a special time, different from everyday time. It is done for its own sake, not for profit. It follows rules, but also allows freedom and improvisation. It takes place on a defined space, a street, a square, a field. It often involves food, drink, and excess. And when it ends, it strengthens the community's bond. Ritual is very close to play. In fact, they often overlap. Rituals are repeated actions filled with meaning. They help communities remember who they are, mark transitions, and express shared values. Like play, rituals transport people into a different reality, one that can change them, at least for a while. Now, why all of this matters? Seen this way, festivals are not just entertainment. They do important work. They bring people together. They create shared identity. They transmit values. They transform energy into community. And they remind people that they are part of something larger than themselves. That is why festivals endure. And that is why they continue to matter, perhaps now more than ever. Okay, so that's what I wanted to mention. Yeah.
That's the last slide.
Oh, by the way, this is Valencia. This is the Fallas Festival, and this is the traditional Valencian outfit. In Valencia, they built about 700 sculptures, about 40 feet tall, some of them. They are very heavy. They place them at the intersection of streets, and on March 19th, they burn them all. It's like the cycle of life. And then they start all over for the next year. And Valencians.
Good.
Question.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm thinking of what you were saying about festivals. It seems like there's a razor's edge to festivals, because if you take something like medieval tournaments, it's celebrating everything that you said, community, and it's preparation for war, and it also can get sort of violence. It seems like there's this other edge to the celebrations. Does that, can you address that?
Yes, medieval tournaments, what they do, it's clearly playing. It's
Right.
games, but it's ritualized. And what they do is solidifying social structure, because what the people involved in the tournaments, they could only be aristocrats, feudal lords, and so on. So it's something that reflects the needs of the culture at the time, in the sense that when people in the Middle Ages, the knights, they were not fighting. They had to be training constantly for fighting because the war was coming. And that is, by the way, the origin of bullfighting. Bullfighting originally is on horseback, was on horseback, and that's what knights did in Spanish knights when they were not in a war, in an actual war. They were hunting bulls and wild boar and so on. But also they had the tournaments, and in the tournaments they were getting ready for war. So that's a social need. It's also a solidifying social structure, what they do. And it's the kind of game ritual that exposes violence. It's not the kind that hides violence, like Calanda. So there are several aspects to it, yes.
Question? Yeah, one more.
Going to the Swiss ritual where people were in green and had
Right.
cowbells,
Yeah.
what is the ritual or the theme or the purpose of that festival?
Well, it's very similar to the one in northern Spain. You want
Yes.
to address it, it's all over Europe.
Yes, that is, they are pre-Christian festivals, and what they do is celebrating nature and doing exactly what we don't do in our culture, is saying we are similar to nature. We are not different and superior. That is a notion that starts in the 18th century with Kant, the philosopher. Before that, people had a very different concept. The more you go back to pre-Christian period, the closer people felt to nature. That's why what they did is wearing these outfits that were, natural outfits. So it's identifying themselves with nature and communing, coming together with nature. Yes.
Well, I'd say that was a wow presentation, would you not? Thank you, Jonathan. So, it was just, you can see we could talk about this for a lot longer, and hopefully we will have both of them back again when we have more time. But for now, what we found has been really helpful is just to drop downstairs to the grill room where we can have more informal chats. We can talk to both John and Francisco and explore these ideas more fully. I hope you enjoyed tonight's talk. I mean, how could you not, really? But that was a biased opinion. At any rate, and hope you'll join us in a couple of weeks, and then a couple of weeks more, and a couple of weeks after that, because we try to bring thought-provoking sessions all the time. And I think you could say for sure that this was one of them. Thanks to you both. Yay!